I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's News Update. 50 international aid groups and United Nations agencies have issued a joint appeal calling on Israel to lift its blockade of Gaza, which they claim is a violation of international law. Among the groups are Amnesty International, Save the Children, the World Health Organization, Oxfam, the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, and 5 other UN bodies. While restrictions have been eased on Gaza over the last few years, Israel insists that the closure is legal and vital for its security and maintains that it must check all goods entering Gaza to prevent terror activity there. Spokesman for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Mark Regev, stated that all cargo going into Gaza must be checked because Gaza is controlled by Hamas, an internationally recognized terrorist organization, adding that just this morning an Israeli farmer plowing his field was shot at from Gaza and had to be evacuated by the IDF. The farmer hid behind his tractor and was not injured. Gerald Steinberg, president of NGO or non-governmental organizations Mortar, which is an Israeli nonprofit watchdog, criticized the aid group's appeal for the immoral exploitation of universal human rights for political objectives. Steinberg said that these NGOs and UN agencies use the facade of human rights and humanitarian aid while callously ignoring indiscriminate rocket attacks against Israeli civilians, every one of which he says is a war crime, saying they should be using their resources to end the massive smuggling of weapons into Gaza rather than targeting Israel. Just this morning in Israel, a mortar shell was fired from the Gaza Strip, landing in open territory in the Eshkol Regional Council. No injuries or damage were reported. Elsewhere in the country, 2 border guard officers were lightly injured when a group of approximately 20 Palestinians hurled stones at their security forces near the Betunia crossing southwest of Ramallah. The IDF soldiers responded with ground dispersal means, and the wounded were taken to receive medical attention. The Times of Israel reports that Chief Palestinian negotiator Saeb Erekat told the official Voice of Palestine radio station yesterday that an Israeli-Palestinian meeting may take place soon. An unnamed Palestinian source told the Arabic-language newspaper Al-Ayam that Israel's Vice Prime Minister Shaul Mofaz and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas will likely meet in Amman, Jordan next week to discuss ways of renewing peace talks, which have been stalled since September of 2010. The London-based Al-Quds Al-Arabi, an independent pan-Arab daily newspaper, reported today that U.S. envoy David Hill will arrive in Israel in the coming days to discuss relaunching the negotiations. Iran once again is claiming to have arrested a ring of assassins with ties to Israel. Iranian media reported that the country's security forces announced the arrest of several individuals who they say were responsible for the recent killings of 3 nuclear scientists. They allege that the group was hired by an Israeli spy network. Iran has accused both Israel and the U.S. in the past for being behind targeted assassinations of nuclear scientists. The chairman of the U.S. House of Representatives Foreign Affairs Human Rights Subcommittee traveled to Bolivia earlier this week to visit with jailed U.S. citizen Jacob Ostreicher. Republican representative from New Jersey, Christopher Smith, went to meet with Ostreicher, a Hasidic Jew from Brooklyn, who was arrested in Bolivia last year on suspicion of ties to money laundering and drug trafficking, and is being held without formal charges being filed against him. Smith accompanied Ostreicher to a hearing where he argued on his behalf that there is no evidence linking Ostreicher to any criminal activity and demanded his release. Smith said that Ostreicher, who has been on a hunger strike for the past few months, has lost 60 pounds and is very weak, and that while he seems to be in not the best shape, he was happy to see the congressman and know that he was not forgotten. Well, 17-year-old catcher Max Unger will not be going to the Washington Nationals, not for now at least, but instead will honor his commitment to play baseball at Denison University in Ohio, according to the Washington Jewish Week. Unger told the paper that the Nationals will offer me a contract and I will decline the offer. I was recruited by Denison and plan to go there to study and play baseball. I really like the academic challenges, Unger said, of the school, and I know that if I play well, the Nationals or another team can draft me again after my junior year of college. Unger was drafted by the Nationals in the Major League Baseball draft last week in the 36th round. He is a recent graduate of the Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School in Maryland. And that's Shalom TV's news update. I'm Teisha Bader.